Today on Gamers Couch.
Sea of Clouds. Or in German you would say Sie von den Wolken.
No, wrong. German lesson.
Sea of the Clouds? No?
It's not Sie. It's C. It has a hard S, not a soft one, like the German Z.
I'm sorry, it has an R S.
Let's rum that up and do the intro. Damn it! We're pirates today, folks. Welcome to Gamers. This is gonna be difficult today. Welcome to Gamers Couch. Expect all the puns of the idiots that are talking to you. Meeting Daniel,
wait a minute.
My lovely husband, and myself, Sarah, the artist behind Pinselgeschichten. We're
pirates.
We're probably having. We enter a couple of puns that are in regards to pirates and their way of life into this podcast. I'm not sorry. But we're going to talk about Sea of Clouds today. As usual, rules and gameplay first. We also play a couple of rounds or turns. Then we talk about what we liked or not liked about this game and finish up with funny stories and experiences. Now, two more housekeeping things. For one, welcome to all the new subscribers that joined us on the channel over the last week. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Love to have you here. Enjoy the game demonstration podcast. Also, excuse me.
Also, I'm dying on screen. Too much rum?
Yeah. Also, there's no teaser for Draw for Initiative this week because we're going to have a pause. We're going to continue next week, so I'm just going to remind you what we painted last week, and you can hop on over. The link is in the iCards. We painted Pathfinder, the adventure card game, and we had quite a bit of fun doing that. There's also romance involved there, so fitting for any people who celebrate Valentine's Day. Just saying.
Involved? Like howling? I see.
That was the German accent. And now, my love, before we get too giddy, I'm going to drink my coffee.
Yes.
Oh, no, we don't fight against each other.
Cheers, mateys.
Yeah, and you have to explain our rules. I can't do that. Rules and gameplay, folks. It's gotta come up. Shit.
Welcome.
Wait for me to swallow my coffee. Now.
Welcome to your pirate ship. Your job is to loot and get rich. You have one game's worth of time doing so, competing with other pirates. I'm El Capitan, and I'm fighting against
Duc de Plessis.
The douche of Plessis.
Don't butcher the French language.
What?
It's Duc de Plessis.
I'm pretty sure that what it means is douche de Plessis.
No, Duc is something like Duke. We had that conversation.
Don't tell her what douche means. So.
It means shower. And now, go on explaining. You have to be on the line. I framed you up so that everybody can see your cards.
Hold the line. I see. This is going extremely well.
Professional.
We're on time. This is anywho. So at the core, Sea of Clouds is a drafting game where we will be drafting treasure cards, which can be of different types. Ultimately, what we want to do is we'll try to either collect sets or get a stronger pirate crew to steal stuff from other players. And this game is actually pretty self-explanatory once you get started, so I actually don't have to explain too much up front. There's a parrot. There's also a little pirate's hat. The pirate's head stays with the guy who's first, or the girl. In this case, it's me. The parrot goes there as well. The parrot is later used to break up ties if something happens at the same time or an equal amount of points are there. I think my assistant pirate forgot to give us starting money.
Yeah, because I said this, I mixed the cards, I set up the tableau, and I arranged the cameras. I said I didn't do any more. It was your job to remind me how much money we get.
So I get 3 coins.
And I get 3 coins?
No coins. You forgot to.
No, come on, don't be a douche. I'm the Duke.
I'm El Capitan.
So, how much? 3?
Yes.
Or because I'm not starting player, I get 4?
No, 3.
3. Okay.
So,
3 pineapples.
What will happen? And please follow me to our overhead camera. This is actually a little ship, which might be hard to see. We will travel from Cloud Island to Cloud Island until we reach the end of the game. Essentially, they're all the same, and they just mean that's happening. With a notable exception, and that is the islands with this red symbol where a fight will happen. So, to get started, since I'm the starting player, my job is now to look at the treasure that might be available. You see 3 stacks of cards. You always have to start with number 1, and in secret, I will take a look at this. And now I have 2 options. Either I can take this card and put it next to my tableau, and you might probably not see the symbols, but there's rum and hidden cards or secrets go down here. You have relics that go here, items or objects go over here, and crew members go there. These also correspond with the different back face icons you can find on the card. So this is guaranteed a rum, this is guaranteed an object, this is guaranteed a relic, and that's a crew member. So looking at this card, I thought it was interesting and cool. Pretty good starting thing, but I don't want to take it. So before going on to the next card, I will now take the top card and put it up here. Meaning that the pirate after me, which probably is the douche will be able to take 2 cards at this point. It doesn't have to, but that's how it works. So
and now we say Duke.
Let me take a look. No, I also don't want the second card, so just for you, this is a card that is kind of a little bit more focused around fighting. So here again, second card comes on it. Now, if I don't take the third card, I would just grab the card that's on top here, after, of course, adding the current top card to that. Looking at this, yeah, I'll take this. So now I place this relic here, and since this is, I mentioned it, a set collection game, you can already see how this will be going. There's multiple of these behemoth tooths in the deck. If I end the game with just 1 on hand, that's worth a -2 victory points, but the more I gather, the more points I'll be getting. Whenever I take a card, I replace it with the top card, so there's never an empty spot here unless we run out of cards. You can already start. And if you take multiple cards, just as Sarah did right now, you get to decide in which order you may execute them or run them. Because
I'm gonna take them.
Because some of the cards... is it a secret rum card?
Rum cards are always...
So, rum cards...
Don't rummage around in my...
Rum cards are always secret to make things a little bit more... He got me there for a second. Interesting. There are actually non-rum cards that have this little secret question mark icon on them, meaning that you would put them down there face down as well. Usually those are cards that multiply the effects of other cards. Now that we've done this, we just move on to the next island. And again, same thing happens. Let's see. Nope. And to those of you in the know, we actually didn't prepare the stack for a 2-player game, so cards you will see right now might also be from the 4-player version. which is fine. I just go with us. This doesn't really change the game much.
We are big enough to be 2 people, so we're actually 4 players. Does that count?
Still don't want this. And I also don't want this. This is all terrible. Now I have to pick up this, and well, this is a card now I have to do. So this is an object card. It's a cookie. And the trash can icon means that I don't really get to keep this card because this is an instant card, so I play this card, and now I get the parrot, which is surprise. I already had.
I'm gonna start meanwhile.
So that round was really not that efficient for me, unfortunately.
No worries. You're gonna try next time. I'm gonna take the horn of the Leviathan and the singings of the sirens.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we will go further just to speed things up. Let's assume on this turn I would probably take this guy so that I can explain something else to you. So crew members are a little bit different. They don't really do something right away.
No, I already did.
You
Put it there. No, I'm looking at it, and you can explain the crew member, and I'm gonna do the rest. I'm gonna take this card.
These become important once we reach one of the combat areas. Yes, another thing is there's a maximum of 3 cards per space. So if we ever get to 3 cards, that means we just start adding money to that space to increase the value. That would also happen if there's no cards left in the stack here. So let's pretend that we've been well along and did the card drafting for this round. So what will happen, or what happens now at the end of this round, is we will have a fight. For that,
I don't like you. You
for
don't
that,
like me.
we add the values of our crew members, and each crew member has a combat value. Mine has 3, Sarah has 2. If you have multiple, you just add them together. And in a 3 or 4 player game, you always attack the players to your left and to your right. So you tally up your combat value and compare it to both the players to your sides and determine who wins against whom. So at best, you can win against both at the same time. At worst, you lose against both at the same time. If you win, you get to run the effects of your pirate cards. So in my case, I would have won, and I get 2 coins from the bank in this case. Some may say steal, so you take the coins from the player you have won against. If there's no limitation marked on this card, you get to run it every time you have won against someone else. So if I actually had won against 2 players, I would get 4 coins because this card would be triggered twice. Sarah's card, for example, says steal 1 rum card. Now, I don't have any rum cards, so that wouldn't have been any trouble at all, but you can see why this is called a combat. You really will be fighting with other players soon enough if you steal them the very valuable cards. And to be honest, this is pretty much everything to this game. You will collect more of these cards. Some are more useful than others. And once you get to the final island, you have one last skirmish, and then you tally up the points. Where this game comes with one of those handy little note blocks that you can use. Money is worth points at the end of the game. Your rum cards typically have value on them. So in this case,
I would get 4 points because I got 2 of the same.
Sarah has 2 rum with collector's value, which
I only drink the good stuff.
Which in this case doesn't count per card. There are There are cards like this rum that is just flat down worth 1 victory point. This is another one of the collectors. I'm looking. Oh, there's the top shelf rum. which is worth 1 victory point, but, and this icon, there's a little help on the manual, this icon just means that if you have the most rum of all players, each of these is worth 3 victory points. So you can already see there are different ways to go about. You can pretty confidently win the game by going into or trying to get the most pirates and using those effects to either steal stuff from other players or to get stuff from the bank like money. Or you can go with rum and try to get the most victory points strictly by collecting sets of rum or having the most rum. There's also some secret cards that count like a victory point per type of card. Just acting as multipliers. And the relics work pretty much the same way. The only thing that isn't really that big or important for endgame scoring would be the objects, which have more of an event card type feel to it.
Yeah, here's a secret card.
Yes, so this is an object card, but it says secret, so if I would have taken that card, I would put it down here into my secret area. And this says I gain 5 victory points if I have the most money at the end of the game for this card. And obviously you could amass a couple of those secrets, and those can really turn the game into your favor at the end.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's a very, straightforward drafting and set collection game.
Can you tell what it says on the box?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is for 2 to 4 pirates, ages, 10 and up. And the box praises this as a 40-minute game, which, if you got the hang of it, probably is going to take only that long. Kind of, your mileage may vary because I think we found that depending on how long people take by looking at the cards, and how many players you have. Yes, technically you're not allowed to skip. You always start from 1 and have to go all through these. So if I already know there's a card in here that I saw last turn that sounds appealing to me this turn, I still have to go through these, technically, even if there's just a coin being added to the cards. But sometimes that's a little bit fiddly and might take some time. Yeah. Then again, as you can see, there's only so many turns in this game.
And I mean, 40 minutes is not a long time.
Yes. There's the only difference for 2 and 3 players is that there are certain cards not in this deck, or there are cards just getting shuffled out of this deck to make things a little bit more attainable. There's no specific variant, but obviously a 2-player game is a little bit more tactical than, let's say, 3 or 4-player game.
We can talk about that in the next section, and you can keep on going, likes and dislikes.
Yes.
Just wanted to put the...
And just for the 2-player game, obviously, since you only have one neighbor, you're just fighting one fight at the end of these things. So I'd be hard-pressed to say this is more a 3 and 4-player game, but it is not terrible with 2 players. It is
fairly good. Yeah, I actually would say 2 players is less aggressive. 4 players felt more aggressive to me, just because of the luck factor
and the pirates become more proficient.
Exactly.
You get to use them more often.
Talking about what I liked is, I like drafting games and I like set collection games, so that's fun. And this game just was right up my alley, but I didn't expect the luck factor being so heavy and so prominent with 4 players, or let's say more than 2 players, because the pirates get really, really important if you're more than 2 players, because you can really do some havoc there if you have the pirates and you have the stealing, and other players might not get any pirate to be in their crew. And that was entirely up to luck. It was not so much strategy on what card is going to be in the stack at what point, So I didn't expect that. And I think it made feel the more than 2-player version, for me, it felt more aggressive. And a bit more unbalanced, though in the end, the points were not that, and the camera is dying. Hold on.
Professional recording.
The battery was rummed up. You have to get sober or reload it. Whatever. So, where was I? 4 players or more than 2 players felt more aggressive because you could end up with no crew member. But in the end, it felt less balanced during the game, but it was point-wise in the end it was still balanced. But the frustration, because you cannot really see how much rum somebody has or what points of value are there.
You can see how much rum, but you don't know how much worth there is.
So if you're not having a crew member and you're getting your riches and collectibles stolen away pretty much every time you have a goddamn fight, that's kind of frustrating. And that was something that I did not really like about this game. I like the 2-player better because it's less aggressive.
I think now I agree. There's a certain lack of not control is maybe the wrong word, but as you said, it's difficult to settle on some kind of strategy that you might agree on. And it really ends up being, okay, from the cards that I got, maybe this is the best, and I'll just run with this. When you end up with a hodgepodge of not really the good cards, and it could very much happen that one player just is lucky and gets the cards he needs. So I'd settle down to say probably for me this is best with 3.
Have we tried it with 3?
Yes.
I don't remember.
I think we played it once with 3.
2 and 4.
I think we played it with Tina once.
Only Tina? No, Valentin was there. So that's because I'm not sure. But if you're right with what you would assume with 3 players, then I would be with you there.
I mean, I like that pirate infighting stuff that's going on, but obviously that is only viable in a 3 or 4 player game because you get to use some pirates up to 2 times, which makes a difference. Which you don't get in a 2-player game. Then again, in a 2-player game, you can be way more picky about what cards you want to have. So from those 2 extremes of pirates are bad in a 2-player game and getting to have a bigger chance of getting the cards you want, or being less the case in a 4-player game, that's where I would end up with probably best with 3. However, I want to caveat this with saying, since this is a game and the age 10 and up kind of hints at it, which I think is aimed very much at families with kids, this for me is in the same space as Treasure Hunter is from Richard Garfield, which is also a drafting game. Which also feels from time to time a little bit unfair. And I think knowing that going into the game, you might have a better time just enjoying being a pirate and talking like a pirate, and getting a kick out of that than expecting a game that gives you a very strong strategic drafting cards play type of approach. And for that, I very much like it. It is fast enough. There's not much involved in terms of setup and getting things running. So this is brought quick to the table. It's quickly over, which I think is key to those kinds of drafting games that where you might want to play either multiple times or play this as a filler game, and the 2 to 4 players is also pretty much perfect for that. And something we haven't talked about yet. I really enjoy the artwork and stuff on here.
Can you show the other tableaus? Because I didn't pick them because of the contrast, but there's some funny ones in there. Yeah,
there's. I think there's some promo captains in here, so I'm not sure. I think the Lurch Cassidy, the musician you have never seen before. It was one of the promos.
I don't remember if there was. Could very well be, but I just don't remember. But I really like the art style. I like the colors that they used, and of course, components are gorgeous.
Yeah, you can see on the cards these are very colorful and
they are glossy. They have a nice finish, sturdy stuff. What I actually liked a lot was the insert of the box, because you can really play it out of the box, and everything fits neatly and very well in there. So, and it's not a big box. I mean, yes, it's kind of a smaller game, but this box is filled with all of their game. So yeah, I like that a lot. It's not going to be my favorite drafting game ever, but if somebody asks me if I would like to play it, of course, yes. But I'm probably not gonna beg you to play it unless we have the kiddos or the family over. I would say this is more a gift for that.
I think this is a very solid introductory drafting game.
Yeah.
To get someone excited, and if you know someone who likes pirates anyway, that's also a strong pull for the theme to get in there.
Yeah. So shall we rate?
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
We're
so in unison. It's like
yeah. It's I was debating going middle of the road or slightly up. I have to say that I like it, as I said, within the very specific confines of where I see this game happening for me, meaning 3-player filler game, kind of not the first go-to thing. But I have to also acknowledge that it's pretty good at being a drafting game. That being said, if I want to play a game with a main drafting mechanic, this probably won't be the one I would be going for. And that's...
It has its place, but sometimes we crave other drafting. Surroundings.
If you want a drafting game that has a stronger strategic approach, I would go probably with Elysium or something like that. Which is actually not that different to what this is. So if you know Elysium and want to use that as a point to compare, there's a lot of difference in the mechanics. But the idea of you have this tableau with cards that have certain effects after you got them. The major difference here being that the drafting is kind of secret with the cards.
Well, you can check out the Gamer's Couch for Elysium that we made. So in case you're interested, but this one has way more of a luck factor than Elysium has, so I would say this is more the kiddo version.
That's what I meant with Elysium, is more for the strategic approach.
Yeah. So shall we hop into the last section, funny stories, experiences?
Sure. Me being very much enraged, trying to set my boat on fire with the rum I collected.
It's an airship. We're in the clouds.
But
it's not a boat. It's an airship. It's not an airboat. Lingua, my love, lingua.
I don't take any corrections from douche to Plessis.
Duc de Plessis.
El Capitan takes nothing from you.
That was the international
sign of appreciation.
Yeah. So let's talk funny stories, experiences. There was not a lot of funny things, I would say,
surprisingly quiet game.
But I mean, especially with the two of us. With the 4 players, I have a couple of stories, but with the two of us, we for one tested the game, but we were also going in, which is like kind of pathetic coming back to it. We should have looked at the age on the box. We were kind of like, okay, and this is a drafting game, so we have to go there with, we have to approach the subject with strategy, not with just being a pirate. So it was rather quiet and rather very balanced. We had a couple of crew members, we had a couple of bottles of rum, a few relics, stuff like that. So it was very, very balanced, meaning he was just as strong as I was, and it felt kind of boring that way. So we said, okay, we're gonna bring it to the gaming table. Let's see how it plays with 4. Totally different. So Daniel was sitting between Tina and I, and I was not that bad. I was just collecting my relics, but I wasn't really aggressive with my pirates because I didn't have a lot. I had a couple. Tina, however, was very lucky with drawing the crew members that would not...
Drawing my crew members, to be perfectly clear. She was not lucky drawing crew members, she was lucky drawing all the crew members that I would have gotten at least a tiny chance of getting at, but never got any.
So this was the situation which I said earlier. It could be that you don't get any crew member. Either it was the last or the second to last round, he got a crew member. So you can see all those cloudies here. He was not having a crew member, but always having to... And Tina had the ones that said steal something. So he had no money and no crew members, but quite a bit of rum there.
Yeah.
And...
that kind of saved me.
Exactly. So... I was more on the relics, and Valentin had a shitload of crew members. They were It was really bad to fight against him. But, well, it wasn't your fight, it was my fight, and I fought it. But in the end, and it felt totally unbalanced, this game. It felt like you were just... I don't know, losing left and right. You were not getting. It didn't feel like you were playing sort of a game there. You know,
the feeling of I have to give something away to the other players was way stronger than the I progress with my sets or a collection.
Yeah, because you have no feel, because everybody else had set collections on the relics and the rum and secrets and stuff as well. So you don't really have a feel for I might have 5 cards more than them on the rum stack, so it's very likely that I have the higher value, stuff like that. You have no feeling.
But even
for
if you do, I mean, it can be either 5 cards of this 1 point, or you can have 5 cards that are worth 3 points in the end.
Like I said, you don't get a feeling for.
It's a little bit swingy.
Where you say, oh yeah, he has the cruise, but he has less rum, so I'm probably gonna have a higher victory point score there. So you're just like on the edge of your seat all the time.
What we're trying to say is, if we don't have pirates working for us, we have big crybabies.
Yeah.
That are complaining a lot about and drinking rum to soothe those feelings of complaint.
Yeah. Anyway, but it just felt so much more luck based in the 4-player game than it did with the 2-player, because you with the 3 stacks you could sometimes not even have a chance of getting a crew member, because it would go around the table and none of the red cards would be there anymore. So you were really unlucky with the crew members, but you were really good with the rum making, honey.
But you were good. But I have to say that I think the crew guys and the rum cards are really the priority targets in regards to what you want to pick up.
Yes.
And
then the relics,
unless you early on decide to hunt down all the relics and have no other player going after them as well, which I think you tried to do.
No, I just got lucky that there were 3 stacks. One was only blue, one was something and blue, I think yellow and blue. I had quite a bit of rum there too, but I just had stacks that had a lot of blue, so go for it.
I mean, that's the downside of going after the crew members, because you have to win.
Yeah, I had this one.
You have to win the fights. You kind of have to now go after all the crew guys that come out and scoop them up.
Yeah.
Even if you might want to go after some rum or other things. But I found the objects, the green cards, are generally a little bit underwhelming. There's some in there that are cool, but it's like, Yeah.
I got this one and I collected 5 of them, and I had 2 secret cards that said that they would be any relic card that I liked. So in the end, I had 7 relic cards of this particular kind. So that was pretty helpful there. And some more sets, but I had maybe 1 pirate or 2, and they were no high value. And I had a couple of rum cards, so yeah.
And
that was the 4-player game.
And I think that successfully ends our therapy section of the Gamers Couch, because that is actually the secret behind the name Gamers Couch. We are so sad by how we performed in games that
we have a therapy session every Sunday.
We have to talk about it. And that's the same, I'm pretty sure, why pirates were deemed kind of the scummy guys back then. They were just not talking about the problems properly.
They had no couch back then.
Maybe they need a pirate's couch.
Yeah, they need a pirate's sofa. Something. The chaiselonge.
Yes. So thanks for tuning in. If you want to see us talk about another board game, if you want to be part of our psychoanalysis of our misfortunes in board gaming, check us out next week with a different game. Maybe, probably, very much likely. You can, if you don't want to miss it, you can subscribe. If you think this was cool, you can like this. If you don't think so, you are totally fine to dislike this, although I will give you the evil eye through the YouTube window.
Is it working?
No, I have something behind. And anyway, hopefully see you again next week. This was El Capitan and the Douche. Goodbye!
Duc du Plessis! Bye! Don't call me Douche! I'm not a douche!
It says the Douche.
It's a Duke. Just because he's purple and has lovely hair and great fingernails, he's a Duke. Be a bit open. He's a Duke.
Douche.
Duke.
Douche.
Duke. Duke. Stop it. Bye. Duke.
Douche.
Duke.
Douche.
Well, I can do this all day. Duke.
Douche.
Duke.